What's up, Taiwan? I'm Sally Jensen with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. President-elect Lai Ching-te's cabinet is shaping up. His incoming premier has just welcomed 6 new officials into the country's next administration. Tiffany Wong reports.
Taiwan's new Premier Zuo Rongtai announced 6 new officials in charge of Taiwan's ministries and agencies along the theme of tech and economic development. Zuo said that he hoped these ministers would be able to help strengthen Taiwan's strategic industries, including semiconductors, AI, and communications, and would be able to help not only big companies, but also small and medium-sized enterprises as well as startups.
台湾已经在全球产业供应链当中扮演不可或缺的重要角色，掌握科技运用的速度，将会决定国家成长的速度。
Zuo announced Guo Zhihui as economics minister, Huang Yannan as digital minister, taking the position from notable hacker-turned-politician Audrey Tang, Liu Jingqing as head of National Development Council, and also put Wu Chengwen as the head of the National Science Council. Peng Jinglong was announced as head of the Financial Supervisory Commission, and Cheng Jingde is going to be the head of the Public Construction Commission. With just 1 month left to go before President-elect Lai Ching-te is set to take office, there have been several announcements of cabinet members like these, but this time around, notably, there are no women on stage. Now, there are still a few more prominent positions we're looking out for. That's the Minister of Foreign Affairs as well as Minister of National Defense, and those are yet to be announced. Eason Chen and Tiffany Wong in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Calls for restraint in the Middle East are growing as Israel contemplates retaliation against Iran after it launched a direct drone and missile attack on Israel. The attack by Tehran was over a suspected Israeli strike on the Iranian embassy in Syria earlier this month. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu summoned his war cabinet to discuss the possible response to Iran. Leaders around the world worry the escalation could spread throughout the region. Taiwan has tested a new anti-air missile just 1 day after Israel used similar weapons to defend against the Iran attack. So what can Taiwan learn from Israel's defense systems? Jaime Ocon takes a look.
This is Taiwan's newest domestically made weapon, the Lujian or land sword missile. In a first ever test, the weapon system hit all 3 targets within its 15-kilometer range. Defense analysts say it will help fill in a gap for the country's missile and air defense.
这15公里呢，可以弥补我们野战防空到中程防空之间的空域防空的不足。因为在5公里之外到50公里之间，这个空域呢，其实过往陆军野战防空来讲基本上它是能量是不到的。
Missile defense is a key aspect of Taiwan's plan to counter an invasion from China. China has one of the world's largest stockpiles of guided missiles, and analysts predict hundreds would be fired simultaneously in the first stages of a potential attack to overwhelm, then destroy Taiwan's defense infrastructure. This is known as a saturation attack, and it poses one of the biggest challenges for Taiwan's defense.
等到我们飞弹耗损到一个地步以后，弹药补充不上的时候，就有一个空档时间。那么如果说对方是用一种饱和攻击的一个方式的话，事实上面我们防卫的话，还是有相当的一个漏洞的。
Taiwan is now looking at how other countries like Israel and Ukraine handle such attacks. On Saturday, Iran launched over 300 drones and missiles into Israel. With the benefit of forewarning, Israel says it took down 99% of the incoming threats, minimizing their impact. Analysts say Taiwan could use a similar strategy by employing a variety of weapons to counter different threats at different distances. By combining systems like the US-made Stinger with a range of 5 kilometers, Taiwan's new land sword surface-to-air missile with a 15-kilometer range, and the US-made Patriot 3 defense system, which extends to 70 kilometers. Taiwan's military hopes to counter a wide variety of threats. But there's still a major concern: the cost.
With advanced ammunition, it also means higher cost. So it's really, I think Taiwan should make a cost-benefit analysis and think of maybe a combination of all those systems or choose 1 or 2.
Taiwan has a limited military budget and can't afford to rely on missiles alone. That's why some analysts say that Taiwan needs to commit more resources towards integrating its different systems and making sure they work together efficiently. For example, cheaper bullet weapons that can be used to counter drones in place of expensive missiles.
Large and simple drones, like which unit price like 50K each, and the missile, it can a 10 gem missile round can, I don't know, maybe 1 million USD or less, but it's very expensive. So I think Taiwan still needs to invest in more cost-effective ways to deal with them, be it gun-based system.
As Taiwan's military works to balance costs with effectiveness, it will be keeping a close eye on how wars play out abroad, all with the hope of being ready for one closer to home. Kamashu and Hameoko for TaiwanPlus.
A nanny in Kaohsiung has been taken into custody after being accused of seriously injuring a 5-month-old baby. The mother of the child arrived at her hired nanny's house on April 10th to find the baby limp and unconscious. The child was taken to the hospital where he was found with serious brain injuries. The nanny was detained and the other children in her care have since been transferred to other workers. Police say the investigation is ongoing. It follows several other high-profile child abuse scandals in recent months, including a nanny accused of killing an infant late last year. Aftershocks from last month's magnitude 7.2 earthquake in Hualien almost triggered a major power outage on Monday. Taoyuan's Datan power plant ground to a halt due to damage to its units caused by tremors. An electricity crisis was averted thanks to backup supply from a hydropower plant and reduced energy use by big industrial consumers. Datan is Taiwan's largest gas-fired power station and supplies electricity to the Taipei region. The Hualien quake caused widespread damage to the region and its impact was felt across the country. Work has now begun to figure out just how much it will cost to rebuild, as John Van Trieste reports.
Nearly 2 weeks after a violent earthquake shook Taiwan, cleanup is underway. 51 buildings are condemned and 92 declared unsafe across the country. And the government says it's arranging for housing and financial support for displaced people, including up to $140,000 US in subsidies to strengthen buildings against future earthquakes. Amid all this spending, there's one thing some politicians want to know. Officials are still doing the math. But when it comes to some infrastructure, there are already guesses. These include the costs of reopening rockslide-hit Taroko National Park, important for the tourism-dependent economy of Hualien County near the epicenter.
我想最大的经费可能是交通部的部分啊，我们自己国家公园出估大概是会有超过10亿。
The plan is to gradually reopen the park in sections, helping to bring visitors back to the area's hotels. Plans to improve a key highway linking Hualien to the rest of the country are still on track. The highway is vulnerable to tremors and rock slides and was briefly cut off after this earthquake. An extended tunnel to shelter the motorway is among the improvements planned for completion in 2032.
今年2月虽然在环评的专案小组有很多意见，那我们现在已经收集意见，预定在4月就送进这个专案小组，然后转这个大会。那我们目标就完全都不变。
Questions about the total cost may take time to answer. But in the meantime, construction crews will have their hands full as Taiwan begins an expensive recovery. James Lin and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taipei officials are working to demolish and renovate more so-called sea sand buildings in the city. The plan comes after damage to older buildings from the earthquake led to calls for more reconstruction projects. Sea sand houses were built in the 1980s out of concrete containing marine sand. For years, they've been flagged for demolition after complaints that they're actually structurally unsafe and shed sand. The first of the buildings approved for the project will now undergo a public hearing. Most of the residents say they're in favor of the renewal.
30年前的房子哪一个不是海砂屋？我告诉你，到处都是，已经90%都赞成啊，每一个人都赞成啊。
A fire has destroyed most of a film studio backlot and former theme park in southern Taiwan.
咁冇保險呢？
哇！呢張呢算是未知喎。
係啊，都冇呀。
An investigation has been launched into the cause of the blaze, which broke out at Baihe Taiwan Film and TV Town in Tainan just before dawn on Monday. The site was operated as a theme park until 2017 and was then used as a TV and film set. Donald Trump has become the first former US president to stand trial in a criminal case. Court proceedings are underway as prosecutors begin selecting Trump's jury, but looking for impartiality has not been easy. Trump is facing 34 felony counts of falsifying business records to cover up alleged affairs ahead of the 2016 presidential election. He has denied doing anything illegal. Trump is the presumptive Republican Party nominee for the US's general election in November. Churchgoers in Sydney, Australia have been injured in the city's second high-profile stabbing this week. A 16-year-old boy has been arrested after attacking priests and worshippers during a sermon, leaving 4 people injured. The incident was captured on a church live stream, triggering unrest in the Sydney suburb of Wakely. Police are calling the incident a religiously motivated terrorist act. The attack comes just days after 6 people were killed in a separate stabbing at a mall in Sydney. In lighter news, London's first ever major Taiwanese art festival has kicked off in the city, presenting artworks from over 30 contemporary artists from Taiwan. Our reporter Sandy Chi has the details.
A contemporary art performance blended with a 360-degree full-body projection. This is Taiwanese artist Xie Jiehua's work, Second Body. Xie's performance is part of the first major Taiwanese culture festival to be held in London, at the historic Coronet Theatre. Curator Anda Winters says it's an event that's been 2 years in the making. She says she's long been fascinated with Taiwan's diversity and innovative art scene.
Taiwan is a small but very powerful country, very modern and very beautiful. The most beautiful nature, mountains, modern architecture, and a very long history, and very vibrant energy. Art is everywhere I go.
From innovative visual arts, dance, theatre and music, to traditional craftwork and technology, the festival explores Taiwan's identity and history through the works of over 30 contemporary Taiwanese creators. Taiwan's envoy to the UK gave their seal of approval to the festival.
It's important to increase, broaden, deepen the British people's understandings about Taiwan. We have a soft power, and cultural exchange plays a very important part of my strategic communication campaign. So this Taiwan Festival serves as a testament to the power of the arts in fostering international relations.
Of all the artwork on display, one piece in particular is hard to miss. A bamboo installation created specifically for the Coronet Theatre's distinctive facade. It's the work of Fan Chenzong, a renowned installation artist who creates large-scale works inspired by Taiwan's traditional artisans. The 2-week festival is an opportunity for several artists to share their work for the first time in London, and also a chance for Londoners to get to know the creative side of Taiwan. James Lin and Nanny for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Before we go, come along to this rice paddy in central Taiwan where these farmers are reviving their love for volleyball with a special local twist. I'm Sally Jensen. Take care and see you next time.
You're watching TaiwanPlus News, the voice of freedom in Asia.